Coming up on Citrus TV News live at 6, the men's and women's basketball teams are heading to the Final Four. We'll tell you all you need to know about this historic event.
And a deadly bombing in the Middle East. We'll inform you of what else you may have missed over the weekend.
Plus, Bernie Sanders won big this weekend. What does this mean for the Democratic race?
And warmer weather hit Syracuse this weekend, but will it stick around? Find out next as Citrus TV News starts right now.
Good evening.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening, and welcome to Citrus TV's News live at 6. I'm Hearns Laguerre Jr., filling in for Josh Bazan.
And I'm Katherine Robinson. Last night, the Syracuse men's and women's basketball team made the NCAA Final Four, and we were able to talk to the reporters covering this historic weekend. Ladies first this time that the Syracuse women's basketball team has made it to the Final Four, ever. Z89 sports reporter Andrew Scaglione spoke to us earlier today about the win.
The most amazing thing about the Syracuse women's basketball team making the Final Four is the fact that they weren't a one seed. Frankly, the women's game has been dominated by 3 or 4 teams for the last 10 to 12 years. And Syracuse is a 4 seed, now gets to play Washington as a 7 seed. It says a lot about the depth of women's basketball. Now, focusing on how the Orange did it, it was on the shoulders and the back of Alexis Peterson. She scored 29 points in the Elite Eight and has averaged 22 points a game in the 7 postseason games between the ACC and NCAA tournament.
While this is not their first rodeo in the Final Four, but is a team who entered this postseason as a bubble team. Citrus TV's Gabriella Rusk spoke to us about what this win means for the team.
Yeah, you know, it was really exciting. It's funny, at the beginning of the tournament, all the teams said they have a chip on their shoulder going into these 2 games, going into the Sweet 16 and then into the Elite Eight, because no one thought they would be here, and here they are, the Final Four. They're the first 10 seed ever to make a Final Four, so that's really incredible. And the excitement on the court, they just were all so happy. Coach Hopkins got emotional. Coach Boeheim, you know, was the same old self, but when he got off the plane this morning, there was a huge smile on his face, and the entire team is just ecstatic to be here, and they're really going to play their heart out like they did in the past 2 games.
KJ Vaughn will have your full sports update with a recap from the game, highlights from this weekend's Syracuse Duke lacrosse, and all the other sports on the Hill.
Syracuse students rejoiced yesterday in the Orange's advance to the Final Four. Both the men's and women's basketball teams have advanced. In a video, Camara Anthony celebrated their success. Men's basketball will be playing in Houston this Saturday with tickets available on StubHub. The university partnered with a travel agency to offer packages including airfare, transportation, and hotel accommodations. A 35-year-old man has died after being shot in Tioga Street in Syracuse on Sunday night. Police responded to the shooting at about 7:40 p.m. The man sustained multiple gunshot wounds and was rushed to the Upstate University Hospital, where he later passed away. Coming up after the break, Georgia's governor took a major step in ensuring LGBT rights and protecting in the state.
And Easter took a deadly turn for Christians in the Middle East.
Now here is Rebecca with your Citrus TV Fastcast.
Lots of rain and wind in Syracuse today. It's currently 51 degrees with cloudy skies, and rain will be off and on throughout the rest of the evening. What does the rest of the week look like? Find out in my full weather forecast by staying tuned to Citrus TV News.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Breaking news at this hour. The FBI has successfully hacked into the iPhone of the man police say carried out the shooting in San Bernardino last year without Apple's help.
Controversy arose over the last few weeks after Apple refused to cooperate with the FBI's orders to hack into the iPhone. CEO Tim Cook said it would set a dangerous precedent for law enforcement tactics moving forward.
And law enforcement officials have identified the man who pulled out a gun at the Capitol building as Larry Russell Dawson. U.S. Capitol Police say he has been at the Capitol grounds many times before, and there's no reason to believe it was anything other than a criminal act. The White House and Capitol building were on lockdown this afternoon after reports of shots fired. Visitors and members of Congress were told to seek cover immediately. Shots were fired at the Capitol Visitor Center and one bystander was injured by chaparral. The lockdown was lifted shortly after the shooter was captured.
We've got a landslide victory in Alaska. We're going to win in Washington. We're waiting for Hawaii. And then, with your help, we're going to win right here in Wisconsin. Less than 2 weeks after Hillary Clinton swept Bernie Sanders in 5 states, Sanders got a sweep of his own. This Saturday, Sanders beat Clinton in Washington State, Alaska, and Hawaii. Sanders won over 70% in each contest, with 73% in Washington, where 110 delegates were up for grabs. These wins are a major boost for Sanders, who trailed by 280 pledged delegates as of Saturday night. California is close to being the first state to adopt a $15 minimum wage. Lawmakers have achieved a tentative deal that would increase salaries incrementally by the year 2022. Small businesses have an extra year to change their wage policy. Supporters of the deal hope it will cause more states nationwide to increase their minimum wage.
Our people, every day, work side by side without regard to the color of their skin of their fellow mate or the religion that their co-worker might adhere to. They are simply trying to make life better for themselves, their families, and their communities. That character of Georgia. I intend to do my part to keep it that way. For that reason, I will veto House Bill 757. That was Georgia Governor Nathan Deal, and while he vetoed House Bill 757, the bill would have allowed faith-based organizations and businesses to deny services and jobs to LGBT people. The bill was designed to protect religious freedom, and the Georgia legislature is seeking to override the veto. A suicide blast tore through a park in the city of Lahore, Pakistan yesterday, killing at least 69 people and injuring 341 more. A group of the Pakistan Taliban claimed the Easter Sunday attacks, saying they were meant to target Christians. And one of the suspected attackers of the Brussels bombings has been released from custody. Faisal Shefu was released for a lack of evidence. He's thought to be one of the bombers in the footage. 3 of the terrorists were killed in the attacks, and the Islamic State militant group has claimed responsibility for the bombings. American Special Forces have killed the Islamic State's second-in-command. The top financier for ISIS was the man expected to take charge if their leader was killed. U.S. Defense Secretary Ashton Carter announced that Special Forces attempted to capture al-Qaeda, but for reasons that are classified, they opened fire on the helicopters
hence killing him.
Carter has repeatedly said that military forces were gaining momentum in the battle against ISIS, and this attack was a big win for the anti-terror forces, who are still reeling after the attacks in Brussels.
Yesterday, the Syrian army recaptured the ancient city of Palmyra from the Islamic State.
ISIS had controlled the city for nearly a year and has destroyed some of the 2,000-year-old ruins. The liberation received high praise from the UN, raising hopes that parts of the city can still be intact.
Today was a depressingly wet day after last night's basketball celebrations.
Will these storms stay as rain, or do we have some snow in the forecast?
Citrus TV weather anchor Rebecca Castor is here to let us know. Rebecca?
Thanks, Catherine and Hearns. It definitely was a beautiful weekend here in Syracuse, New York, with warm temperatures, sunny skies, and great winds for SU's men and women's basketball teams. But cooler temperatures are coming our way, and that is due to this cold front that we see affecting the East Coast. And our Doppler radar shows more rain coming in tonight, and as temperatures drop over the course of the night, we'll see that rain turning to snow. And if we do get that snow this weekend, that will be some of the only snow coverage in New York State. We're still seeing some heavy snow coverage on the West Coast, especially in Colorado and Wyoming. Upstate New York had a nice break from the snow, but flurries are coming our way tonight, and we can expect more snowfall this weekend. The low for tonight is 31 degrees, and it's going to be a windy night with strong winds coming in at 29 miles per hour. And like our radar showed, we have a 90% chance of rain that could possibly turn to snow overnight. And as we take a look at our 5-day forecast, we see that snow coming in this weekend. Tomorrow we have a high of 40 with partly cloudy skies, and on Wednesday we have a high of 59 degrees and partly cloudy skies remain. Thursday we're going to have some rain come in with a high of 60 degrees. Friday, 20% chance of rain with a high of 55, and Saturday there's that snow with a high of 42, and that snow is set to stick around for the weekend.
Rebecca, it is almost April, and I cannot believe we're still hearing about snow. Where is it possibly coming from?
I know, with an El Nino year, you typically do see snow when you don't expect it, and you don't see snow when you expect it. So that's where the snow is coming from. You just never know with an El Nino year.
So Rebecca, I know a lot of people are going to Houston for the game this weekend. How does the weather look in Houston?
It's actually looking pretty nice. I recommend that students don't leave until after Thursday because they're going to get some thunderstorms on Thursday. So if you're flying out or driving over there, don't leave till Friday because Friday and Saturday are set to be some pretty nice days. Some really high temperatures, which will be different for Syracuse students.
Now, what if back at home, if we're watching the game here this weekend, what can we expect out of the weather?
You're going to expect some snow this weekend. We're going to have some showers Saturday morning that should tend to lighten up during the afternoon, but Saturday evening those snow showers are going to come back.
Awesome. Thanks, Rebecca.
Coming up after the break, we'll let you know who won the weekend box office. Stay with us.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
12 patients in West Virginia have hepatitis after getting cardiac stress tests at a clinic in Beckley. The CDC and the West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources are warning people who have gotten the test there to get tested for hepatitis C, B, and HIV. This is after an investigation showed there could be a link between the injections during the test and the spread of the infection. And the United States Center for Disease Control has released new guidelines involving Zika. The new information recommends women who have experienced symptoms to wait at least 8 weeks before trying to get pregnant. Those who live in areas where Zika is prevalent are recommended to wait for a much longer period of time and to consult a doctor. And Oculus Rift, the virtual reality headset that people have been anticipating since 2014, finally became available to the public today. The system requires a $1,000 computer to operate, but has been hailed as the best virtual reality system available by far. Reviews so far have said that although it is expensive, it is worth the cost for gamers who want an immersive experience. Expect to hear more about the Rift as more people begin to buy it.
Volkswagen Porsche unit is recalling about 800,000 SUVs because of the potential problems with their pedals. The recalls are for the Touareg and Cayenne SUV models. Porsche says it will contact the owners of these cars and will aim to inspect them as quickly as possible. The Tribeca film has cut a documentary from their lineup. The decision to drop the film was made after receiving criticism for its anti-vaccine. Content in the film involved the link between autism and vaccines. The link has been debunked by scientists. Scientists protested the film because it perpetuated thinking that was previously discredited. Some good news for the sad Ben Affleck. Batman vs. Superman profits have shattered the record for an opening weekend in March. The film debuted with $170 million over the weekend, becoming the 6th highest opening weekend ever. Critic reviews for the movie have been brutal, but the audiences have enjoyed the film so far. And now with the recap of another super matchup, we're going to toss it over to the birthday boy KJ Vaughn with sports. KJ?
Super matchup, that's right. The shoe still fits. Both Cinderella runs staying alive for Syracuse, with the men's and women's teams winning last night. Coming up, I'll let you know how 2 tickets were punched to the Final Four. Also, with all the hoopla surrounding basketball, you might have forgotten that there was a men's lacrosse game being played against Duke. Well, if you did, don't fret. We've got those highs coming up. It's all next after the break.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Huntington!
Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, really? I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, where's that bear?
Well, Syracuse, the men's lacrosse team, went down to North Carolina playing the number 9 ranked Blue Devils on Saturday. Let's see if the men could rebound from the loss to Johns Hopkins. And we're going to see Warren Hill warming up there. He's had a pretty good year in net. And now let's jump into the action. How about this name? Deemer Class. The assist goes to Miles Jones. That puts Duke up 15-14. But Derek DeJoe says not so fast. Tie game, rolls past the netminder. It's 15-15. And we need extras to decide this. Here it is, running around. What's going to happen? How about Chad Cohen? He hits it, and Duke wins the game. 16-15 is the final. Now, how about another big matchup? The Syracuse women, Cinderella story it is. You see it there, 89-67, and they are moving on to the Final Four. And guess what? It's the first Final Four in program history. And they're going to take on Washington. Now, a lot of people thinking Washington, they're looking pretty good. This Syracuse team actually matched up with them earlier in the year in the South Point shootout out in Las Vegas way back when in November, and they did get the win 66-62. You see it there though, Syracuse taking care of a pretty dominant women's basketball team in Tennessee. Not so dominant this year, but still a great win for the women, and now they're in the Final Four.
It was a good couple of games for us, obviously, and girls played really tough, and we got just to the point where, you know, we just wanted to finish the deal, and they just really played well, and we made some shots, and it was huge.
No, not at all. You know, it's been an exciting day. It was a long trip back to, you know, really think about everything and kind of take it all in, and we're just still on cloud nine.
Well, after watching the women win, the men had a chance to hold serve, and boy did they, completing an improbable comeback against the top-seeded Cavaliers. Citrus TV's Kevin Case has more on this crazy Cinderella run from the Orange.
A 9-game suspension for its head coach, an 0-4 start in ACC play, and a first-round loss in the ACC tournament. These are the things we thought would define Syracuse's season, until the Orange produced an inexplicable run to the Final Four, capped off by a miraculous comeback win over Virginia.
When you're down that much as we were, you could only go up at that point, and you know, we were playing with house money, and there was no pressure at that point. We just wanted to go out swinging, and
we want to take it one game at a time. We've been doing that all year. We came in thinking one game at a time, and whoever we play in Houston, we're going to go. We're going to prepare for that game.
The next opponent standing in SU's way is #1 seed North Carolina. The Tar Heels won both games against the Orange this year, and are odds-on favorites to win the national title. The Cuse will be underdogs, a role that at this point will be all too familiar. Reporting for Citrus TV, I'm Kevin Case.
And there we're going to see it, Syracuse going to the first Final Four since 2013. Not super long ago, but still not a lot of people expecting that. And this was a game that a lot of people did not like Syracuse in. At half, they were down. But get this, they ended the game hot. I mean, really hot. 25-6 run to close the game. That's really impressive. Another interesting fact, DeJuan Coleman and Trevor Cooney, the only players in SU history to make 2 Final Fours. Obviously, you know, freshmen way back when in 2013. Now they're getting to go again. Guys, just a crazy weekend overall.
Yeah, who would have thought a 10th seed would have made it to the Final Four? What do you think caused them to get to the Final Four?
Well, I think it's their defense. This zone has been the most active all year in the tournament, and that run 25-6, it was keyed by pressing. So Jim Boeheim mixed it up a little bit. I think that's really how this team can win. They closed Gonzaga. They closed the game against Gonzaga in the Sweet 16 with a 9-1 run. That's what you want to do in March. I think that's how they're going to the Final Four now.
Now, looking ahead to this weekend for both the men's and women's team, how do you think we're looking?
Well, I think UNC is really dominant on the men's side, so I don't know how much I like Cuse if they get down big, but if they keep it close, they have a chance. And on the women's side, you know, they've already played Washington, so they have that experience, but this is a really good Washington team. I do like the women's chances to at least get to the national championship game.
Nice.
Awesome. Thanks, KJ. Coming up after the break, we'll talk about Easter egg hunts gone wrong. Stay tuned.
Stick around on...
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Stick around on OTN after the show tonight for a lineup of Citrus TV shows.
Up next is Orange Press Pass, followed by Unpeeled and Noticias. And now, Rebecca, tomorrow morning, what do you think I should be wearing waking up for class?
All right, we're going to see some lingering snow showers from last night, so you're going to want to bundle up, and it's going to get to about 40 tomorrow afternoon, so just dress in layers.
Now, how much snow should we expect to receive?
All right, so tonight we're going to only expect a few flurries, so we shouldn't see that much snow on the ground when we wake up, if we do even see any. This weekend, though, when it gets to Saturday and Sunday, as the weekend rolls around, we're going to see about 1 to 3 inches to fall on each day. So we may be getting 6 inches in total by the end of the weekend.
Oh my goodness.
Hopefully not, though. Hopefully it's just 1 inch on each day.
What should we be wearing this weekend then for the games, if we're here?
Yeah, if you're here, you're going to want to bundle up if you're going to be outside watching the game. So yeah, you're going to need your jacket. It's not going to be like this weekend was at all. Definitely 360, 180 degree turn.
Okay.
But what about in Houston? We're good if
we're
you're
good
going
in Houston.
there?
We're good in Houston if we're going there.
Great news.
Good to know.
Okay, now the White House had their annual Easter egg roll hunt yesterday, successful. Did you know it's been for 100 years now?
That's crazy. That's a long time.
But things took a turn for the worse in Connecticut, where an Easter egg hunt went awry. Parents were rushing the field, stealing Easter eggs from the kids. Kids' baskets were torn apart. It got kind of crazy. I don't think anyone got hurt, but it was definitely a wild event. I've never been to any Easter egg hunts like that.
Parents, you said, running and
it was
stealing from kids?
It was the parents that were the ones getting competitive in the Easter egg hunt.
So who held this Easter egg hunt?
I believe it was a Peds-held event. They apologized after, did not plan for anything like that to be happening, of course, but you hate to see that for the kids when parents kind of get competitive.
Has this ever happened before?
I don't believe it has happened before. I haven't heard of any. I don't know. What about your all's Easter egg hunts back in the day?
Never had that happen. I'm just thinking of some overly competitive parents here.
Well, unless they had like some cash prizes in the Easter eggs.
Yeah, they must have had a bet going. They got something going.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know.
My parents still, I think they are going to continue to send me an Easter basket until I have kids. I got an Easter basket up here in Syracuse from Kentucky. It had my own Easter eggs in it, so I got to do my own mini Easter egg hunt in my basket.
You might need to hide yours since apparently people are scared to
I
fight.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
We're going to hold back Hearns on air, okay?
You will better not. I've got some great candy. Peeps is my favorite candy, so it's the best time of the year for it. Cool. Well, thanks so much, guys. That's all the time we have left in the show. Make sure to follow Citrus TV News on Twitter, like us on Facebook, as well as Instagram.
I'm Hearns Jr. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, Syracuse.
And I'm Katherine Robinson. Thanks for joining us.